Alright guys, in this video we're going to implement the registration. So the registration form is going to be identical to the login. So let's go ahead and open up our login component, which is right here. We want the HTML file. I'm just going to copy everything in here, close it up, and then go to our register HTML file. And we're going to just paste that in. Okay, only thing I'm going to change is this login. I'm going to change that to register. So we'll save that. Now let's open up register component TS. And while we're at it, let's open up login component TS. And we're going to bring pretty much the same stuff in. So we want flash messaging, router, auth service. We'll copy all that and we'll paste it right in here. We also need to inject it as a dependency, so we'll just grab this, put it in the constructor parameters, and let's see, we're going to have two properties just like login. We're going to have email and we're going to have password. Okay, and then we're going to have the on submit. Now we're going to call an auth service function called register, which we haven't created yet, but we'll just type this out. So this .auth service .register, and let's see, that's going to take in this .email from the form and also this .password, and then it's going to return a promise. So we want to do .then. Inside here we'll have a response. Set that to an arrow. And then in here, this is what's going to happen if the user is registered. If not, then we're going to do a .catch. And let's see, this is going to have an error and then an arrow. Okay, now what we want to do is just, we want to set a flash message. So let's say this .flash message service. Actually, you know what? I'm going to remove the underscore here. I don't want that. Did we have that in the login? Yeah, we did. Yeah, I don't want that underscore. So I'm going to remove that there, there, and there. Alright, and we'll go back to our register. And this is going to be, let's see, flash messages service.show. Okay, so the message is going to be new user, we'll say new user registered, and then it's going to have some options, CSS class, which will be success, or I'm sorry, alert success, and then the timeout, which will be 4,000. Okay, once that's done, then we're just going to redirect. So this .router .navigate. Okay, we want to navigate to the dashboard, which is going to be just slash. Now, if there's an error, I'm going to just copy this here. And if there's an error with registration, what I want to do is send a message, but I want it to be whatever the error that's sent back. So we'll say err.message. Okay, and the err is coming from here. And then we're going to just change this to an alert danger because it's going to be an error message. And then we want to navigate back to the register form. Okay, so let's save that. And now we're going to create the register function in the auth service. So let's go services, auth service. .ts, and let's see, we'll go down here and let's see, register. Okay, remember it's going to take in an email and a password. Okay, now we're going to return a promise, just like we did with the login. We're going to say return new promise. Okay, which will get a resolve and reject. And let's see, we're going to use an arrow. And then we're going to do this dot AF auth dot, and then Firebase has a function called create user with email and password. So that's what we're going to use here. We're going to say create user. Actually, I'm sorry. It's AF auth dot create user with email and password, and then just pass in email and password. Okay, and then we're going to get a promise, so it's going to be dot then, and then we'll say user data, set that to resolve, pass in user data, and then we'll put a comma right here. Is that right? Yeah, comma right there, and then we're going to have our error, and that's going to be the reject. Okay, and then we'll pass in error. Let's see, why is that happening? There we go. All right, so that'll actually register the user. If everything goes okay, it'll resolve. If not, it'll reject. And then we're handling it back in the register right here if it resolves, right here if it rejects. Okay, so let's save that, and then that should work. Now, when the user registers, they'll actually get logged in, I'm pretty sure. So let's try that. Let's go to register, and let's see, we'll register test at test.com. Password, we'll just say 123456. Submit, and now we're logged in. And if we go to our Firebase and we reload this section here with the users, there it is, test at test.com. Alright, so we can now register. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to have the user's email address up here just so you kind of know who you're logged in as. And that should be pretty easy because I think we already added the property for it in the navbar. If we go to our navbar TS file, once we log in, we're setting this .loggedInUser to the email, so we should have access to that inside the HTML file. So let's open up our navbar HTML. So let's grab, we'll just grab this LI here with the logout, paste it in, and then right here, we'll say, what is it? I think it's logged in user. Get rid of the click. See if that works. And there we go. So test, you can see we're logged in as test at test.com. Good. All right, so I think the last thing we're going to get to, the last big thing, is the settings. We want to have a settings link, and we want to be able to do things like disable the registration. We want to be able to disable, for instance, adding a balance when we add a user or add a client, and then it just gives you you know, a scalable option to add more stuff later on. All right, so we'll get into the settings now.